Hi guys, so today I'm going to be doing my Twisted review, and yeah, so I just want to start off by saying that I felt really bad for Danny in the beginning of, the episode because, Joe and Lacey are still against him and everything, and they were like, you should have told us, we wouldn't have walked away if you had told us sooner. But I think that was completely false because I kind of understand why Danny did choose to tell them later because first of all, when he first got back, everybody was skeptical of him. So it was like, yeah, I need to know that you guys trust me and, that I can trust you first before I even tell you anything. So I understand why he didn't tell them in the beginning. And I'm just like, I wouldn't have walked away. And I'm like, I think you would have because, she was still in the mindset where she wasn't sure if she should be Danny's friend or not. And, yeah, I just thought that they still would have walked away even if he had told them earlier. And I thought it was so creepy, because Rico found out that the nerd, Doug, he filmed the whole Daisy scene when they were making out in, Danny's house. And I was like, that is so creepy. I honestly thought it was like someone from the soccer team since they had on the mask, but he was like, it was just in the bushes, so I just picked it up. And I'm like, he's so creepy. And I thought it was really funny when Rico was like, do you try to be creepy? And, Doug is just like, no, it just happens. I thought that was hilarious. And, yeah, I was just like, okay then. And I was like, I really hope he listens to Rico and, he deletes the film and everything. And, I felt really bad for Danny because, he's just in trouble through this whole episode. And, then Regina's mom is trying to get him expelled even though he did not poison Cole at all. So I don't understand. Like, they didn't even put, I guess, a real investigation, but you can't because no one puts, cameras in the locker room. So, I just felt bad because, Danny's always getting blamed for everything that goes wrong with the town. Like, there are other killers out there besides Danny, but I guess not in that town. And it was just unbelievable because Cole was supposed to be Danny's friend, and, then Cole's just like, you did poison me. And I don't know if it was you or not. Like, he just completely changed. And I'm like, you're supposed to be his friend. Like, what is wrong with you? I don't know. I guess he's just trying to fit in because, he doesn't want the soccer team to hate him. But at the same time, like, you could at least tell Danny to his face that I did like you at one point. And, yeah, I just thought he was being really rude about that. And I just really wish that Lacey would forgive Danny. I just feel really bad because Danny is just so alone in this episode. And, yeah, I'm just like, Lacey really needs to just forgive him because it's not like he did it on purpose. And he did eventually tell them. But, yeah. And, the whole Rico and Lacey conversation, when Lacey was like, hey, Joe, she was introducing Rico and Lacey to each other. He's like, oh my gosh, you're here in person. I've only heard stories about you. I mean, he kind of treated her like she was a celebrity, I mean, she was the popular girl in school. But, he was like, I'm actually talking to you in human. Like, he's talking to her in real life, and I'm like, yeah. He's like, normally you're just like, Joe talks about you, but now you're human. And I'm like, if that's not awkward, I mean, it was just so weird. And, Rico just gets up and leaves. I love Rico's awkward personality, though, because it's really funny. I thought it was so creepy how Archie was being really nice about the whole Danny situation. And he's like, I feel bad for the guy. Because, he's been through a lot. And I feel like it's just time for me to move on. And I'm like, really? Like, this is not the Archie we all know. Something's wrong with him. And I don't understand why he was acting all calm throughout this. I mean, I guess because he knew he was in trouble. But Danny was, going to get in trouble either way. But it was still kind of creepy. Like, just keep acting mean, because acting nice isn't working. And it just really sucks, like I said before, that Danny has nobody on his side. And, then when Kyle, which is Joe's dad, is talking to some other police guy, he's like, we need to find the evidence on Danny. And I'm like, I understand that Danny is the prime suspect, but at the same time, I didn't feel like John, which was the name of the other detective he was talking to, I didn't feel like John was really looking at all the other evidence that pointed to other signs of Regina's death. Like, everyone's just so focused on Danny that they're not even willing to look at anything else that could that could possibly contradict that. And I just really hate that because, I mean, I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, you're supposed to be the police. You're supposed to look at every aspect. You're not supposed to be taking sides, you know? And Rico, oh my gosh, Rico he's awkward and he is so not discreet. When Lacey was talking to someone, I forgot who, Rico was like, hey Lacey, I need to talk to you about Joe's hair or Joe's shoes or something about Joe. And he was like obviously winking and everything, and I'm like, yeah, you're so subtle. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, he told Lacey about the video, which was the good thing. You know, it was the right thing to do, but, yeah, I'm just like, oh my gosh. You know, Lacey wanted to sit back and do nothing about it, and I'm like, are you serious? Because, you do know that the video could possibly still get leaked, right? I mean, I don't know. I just couldn't understand why she wouldn't just sit down and let it be. I mean, yeah, Rico talked to him, but at the same time, people don't always listen to you, and, you know, I just didn't understand why she would have just let it go. Because that's a big deal, you know, for her and Danny. And, like, right before the commercial break, when someone was knocking at Danny's door, I thought Lacey would be at the door going to tell him about the video, but it was actually Joe, and, you know, I was like, I'm really glad she's on his side, and, I mean, it kind of turned out that she's not really on his side completely. She's just trying to help out. You know, she's still mad at him at that time. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like the whole video situation was really shocking. And, you know, it's just a really big problem. And, you know, Lacey's at her sleepover or whatever, and Sarita gets a video and she's like, oh my gosh, look at this video. And, you know, Lacey's like freaking out over there, and it's really just a cat doing something stupid. I don't know. It's of a cat. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, if that was a video, like, I have no idea how they would have reacted. I kind of want to see, even though you get to see Sarita's, but I kind of wanted to see how they would all react at that moment with Lacey. And yeah. And I totally thought that Danny and Tyler in the same room was not a good idea, because who doesn't hate Tyler? Tyler is a jerk. I don't know, I understand Joe, you know, is getting his help and everything, but I understand why Danny's so mad at him. I mean, I wouldn't be able to stand being in the same room as him either. And, you know, they were like, okay, so we have all the compliments about Danny, now we need to show this to the board. And he's like, no, we need to show this to Cole. And I'm like, why would you need to show it to Cole? I mean, I was like, maybe so they can kind of blackmail him into telling the truth, which is kind of what they did, you know. Didn't really work. But I thought Regina's mom was so rude to Joe's mom. She was like, it's not my fault your daughter's following him like a puppy. And I'm just like, she did not just say that. So hate her mom. Like, they're just a rude family. That's a really rude town. Like, the only nice people are Joe's family, excluding her dad, Karen's family, which, you know, is basically just her and Danny, and Lacey's family. So basically the main characters, and Rico. Even though Rico's like, but whatever. Yeah, and I'm just like, Joe does not follow him. I mean, she kind of does. But, you know, it's still offensive. I mean, I don't know. And, you know, then Danny shows Cole the video, and Cole is still against him, and he's just like, I don't care what that video says, I don't like you now. And I don't know, I just don't understand why he's being so rude to Danny. And, you know, Danny's like, no, we shouldn't even show the video. And I'm just like, what are you talking about, crazy? I mean, I know he's trying to keep Cole as a friend, but Cole's already against you, and it doesn't look like he's turning back anytime soon. So, might as well just show the video to the board. I mean, to save your own butt. Make new friends. Join a different team. I mean, he's probably only good at soccer, but join the chess club. No, don't join the chess club, because Doug Benner is there, and whatever. It's just, I don't understand why he wouldn't show the video, but to save his own butt. And oh my gosh, Rico kind of spilled a lot of secrets this episode, and I was just like, what? When Rico tells Lacey that Joe's in love with Danny, I'm just like, not the best idea, even though, you know, everybody else does not know about Lacey and Danny, so everyone's like, oh, it's fine to tell one of them and not the other, and it's really not. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, and Lacey's face and everything, I'm just like, I feel so bad about that. And I was really glad that, you know, Joe came to support Danny at the trial. I'm like, I'm good. I'm glad that she, you know, she changed her mind about him. And, yeah. And I really hate, like, just saying this again, but I hate Archie's nice act. Like, don't. It's creepy and it's weird, and I hate it because it's fake. And I'm really glad that Cole, he didn't exactly take Danny's side, but I'm just glad he didn't talk against Danny, and he kind of was just in the mutual side of it, so yeah, he's kind of wishy-washy, but I don't know. I'm just really glad I didn't say anything bad about him. And, I don't know, I was kind of cheering for Lacey when Lacey was, like, bullying the nerd Doug. She was like, you better delete that video and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, and then Retainer Girl over there, the girl that doesn't talk at all, and she just gives, like, really mean looks. She's like, will you stop clicking your retainer? And the girl's just like, death stare. And I'm like, that girl is super creepy. Like, it's so funny because everyone yells at her, and all she does is glare at them. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. And the look on her face was hilarious. I can't even, like, that was just hilarious. I mean, but I don't get it. I mean, he's like, she's captain of the debate club. Then why doesn't she ever talk? I mean, unless she just likes to talk about debate topics, but when you argue with people, that's kind of like debating. I mean, I don't get it. And, yeah, that was a really funny scene for me. And, oh my gosh. At the trial, when Regina's mom was like, I forgot what really happened, but, you know, Regina's mom was like, Danny deserves to go back to jail and blah, blah, blah. He really needs to be expelled. And Karen's like, well, Regina's a whore. And I'm just like, what? Oh my gosh, you did not just say that. This was when Joe's mom was speaking, and, you know, Joe's mom is like, no, you need to sit down. And all of a sudden, you just hear Karen say, well, at least, you know, my son's not a whore or whatever. And I'm just like, you did not just say that. And, you know, Danny's like, you need to sit down now, mother. I'm like, you are not helping your case. This episode was really hilarious because it was full of arguments that were really funny and really emotional at the same time. But yeah, I was just like, oh my gosh. And oh my gosh, like not one, but another really, like, intense scene was Joe was like, you know, I really want Danny to stay here because I can't help that I'm falling, you know, and she just stops there. And but you know what she means. I mean, what else would you say, you know? You know what she means. And I'm just like, she just confessed her feelings for Danny in front of the whole school. Maybe not the whole school, but, you know, the trial, and which they will be talking about the next day at school. But I'm just like, she really did that? I mean, I guess, you know, she was kind of wrapped up in the moment, but at the same time, I'm kind of like, that doesn't really help Danny's case, because then they're just going to be like, oh, well, this girl's in love with him, so of course she's going to say anything to keep him here, you know? But yeah, there were a lot of shocking moments, and literally, like, my list of notes, like, it's like a bunch of OMGs and like, what? And with exclamation points, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. And I honestly think that the new girl detective is really suspicious. I don't know, I think she could bring something new. If not, you know, my theory is just wrong, but she's really suspicious to me, and yeah. And like I said, I just don't like how they're trying to pin it on Danny, and they're not actually trying to find out who the real killer is. Like, you guys don't even really care. You just want Danny back in jail. And oh my gosh, it was so sad because Joe was like, Lacey, you probably heard, you know, about me talking about Danny. And she's like, well, I would come to you. Joe tells Lacey, I would come to you first if anything ever happened like that. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. Joe just said she would come to Lacey first to make sure it's okay with her. And Lacey didn't do that. And honestly, I get it. Like, I get that horrible feeling. I mean, I don't know. I would feel horrible. Like, if I was in Lacey's position, I would be like, you know? They totally should have told Joe. And I've been saying this since the beginning. They should have told Joe anyway, because Joe is their friend. So, you know, she deserves to know. And now, when she finds out, it's gonna be the hard way. And, I was just like, oh my gosh, Danny's expelled, you know, nothing helped. I mean, I kind of expected it, but at the same time, I was hoping that maybe they would let him off. But, you know, Regina's mom is somehow powerful, and, you know, like they said, how was it even fair for her to basically charge him, I guess, and, you know, for her to be on the stand and say he deserves to be there, because it's a really biased side, because of course she's going to stick up for Regina. It's like you don't even have any other good reason like the rest of us. I mean, I don't know. I don't understand how she's in charge of the school board. I really don't. And oh my gosh, Doug's video is spilled. And, you know, everyone, I mean, you basically know what's going on because someone gets it. I forget who. Sarita gets it. Oh my gosh. And her face is like, I can't believe Lacey did this. And, you know, but she did say that she would forgive Lacey no matter what she did. But, I mean, and Lacey knew what they meant by that, though. Like, you can tell, yeah, they'll stick by you through whatever, as long as it has nothing to do with you and Socio. You know? Like, I already knew that. I'm just like, their video is spilled. And not just to one person. Like, I honestly thought it was just sent, like, to one person again. It's sent to the whole school. And guess who did it? The sneaky little evil retainer girl. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. She did not just do that. And, like, I honestly didn't believe Rico when he was like, you really shouldn't mess with Eloise. You know, she's really scary. And I kind of thought that, like, oh, she just bullied him when he was, like, 2nd grade or whatever. But no. She's really a something. And, yeah. She needs to be getting rid of. If this was Pretty Little Liars, they should totally just kill her off. No offense. That kind of sounds mean. But she's a threat. She really is. She's one of those, oh, I'm gonna play nice and innocent. She's a Mona. That's exactly what she is. I'm gonna connect this to Pretty Little Liars. She's a Mona. She plays an innocent girl, and, you know, she's like, oh my gosh, I'm the victim, and everyone hates me. And she's really just this conniving girl. I can't believe her. I don't know. I want Lacey to confront her, even though she'll probably just do something bad again. But I think it's really funny when they confront her, because she just stands there and glares, and it's like, what the heck is going on through your mind? And honestly, I shed a tear when, you know, Joe sees the video, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. Just like, I don't even know what to think. This episode was hilarious, funny, and emotional, all at the same time. I know hilarious and funny are kind of like synonyms. Yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you'd rather Daisy or JC. Danny and Lacey or Danny and Joe, because I'm still kind of team Daisy. Just wanted to say that. But bye. Toodles!